Hello everyone, Dave here with another installment of Literary Listening. Welcome to my preface of a reading of To Build a Fire by Jack London. I suppose I'll get right to why I chose this story, which will require a bit of context. I was born and raised in New England, so I grew up accustomed to expecting and even enjoying the cycle of 4 very clearly defined seasons, in which a humid day in August could reach 100 degrees, or a blustery winter night in February could render the idea of leaving a well-insulated and heated home unthinkable. More recently, much to the contrary, I've had the benefit of passing the last 3 winters in Portugal. Now, Portugal has winter. It's nothing so dramatic as a New England winter. It gets colder, but only so much as to produce a bit of frost 3 or 4 mornings throughout the entire season. But it's a humid cold that weighs on your clothing and clings clammy to your skin. It's nothing like the pain of the midwinter New England wind tearing the heat and moisture from your hands and face, but it is its own brand of discomfort, made a bit worse by the fact that homes in Portugal are generally brick and mortar, with no additional insulation and no central heating. So the cold humidity hangs there in each room of your home, made tolerable only by the heat produced from cooking in the kitchen and by the purchase and use of space heaters for the other rooms. I remember very clearly my first winter in Portugal. Hearing friends of mine or colleagues complaining about the cold, I found myself responding, perhaps a little bit too abrasively, that they did not know cold. I think I even used those very words more than once. I wonder now if I was parroting Jack London. To continue, a couple of months ago, I decided that it had been too long since I'd visited my family and friends in and around my hometown, and I made arrangements for the trip. It turns out that airline ticket prices to Boston in January are very agreeable. And this is for a very simple and, in retrospect, obvious reason. No one in their right mind who does not live there wants to travel to Boston in January. Maybe even some people who live there. Well, when I stepped out of the terminal, I was immediately shocked by the biting, blustery wind that burned my skin, aging me in an instant the 3 years that I'd preserved by spending 3 winters in the cool sea mist of coastal Portugal. I had forgotten cold, but I remembered reading Jack London, or at least my impression of his work. It had been ages. And upon revisiting this text, I find that he would insist that I have never known cold. Perhaps I haven't. There's a link to the full text in the description box below, as there will be in the story posting, which you can jump directly to by clicking on the card on the screen. Thanks for listening.